Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Austin here, bringing you guys a StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm commentary. And just as a little bit of an introduction before I really get going, if you're watching this having not seen any of my previous videos, or if you have seen them, forgive if I'm very, very rusty in this video and a little bit off cue with regard to current strategy and meta, because I just got HOTS the other day. I just kind of got back into SC2 the other day, so just for this game and maybe for the next couple, I'm going to be a little bit off as I adjust to the expansion and all the related strategies and expected builds. But do know that in the future, in a couple videos, I'll be right on point, and I'm sure I'll be hopefully somewhere close to it in this video, of course, or else I would just be wasting your time. So today's match is from GSL Code S round of 16. This is a match 3, so it's a game 3 of a match between Classic, the red protest spawning at the top, and Rain, the blue protest spawning at the bottom. They're both on SK Telecom T1, Code S players, teammates, PvP, all the makings of a pretty interesting game. And so, on a side note, with regard to getting back into commentary, I've watched a couple of high-level games. Haven't really had too much time to play in many so far, but I've noticed that a lot of builders are very similar with regard to HOTS, coming from a mostly Wings of Liberty background. And it's interesting to see how some of the new units play in. I mean, obviously, for some of you guys, this might be a bit of a bore. Oh, wow, new units. It's been around for a year. I know, but you have to cut me some slack. I'm still new to the game. It's all new and exciting and fresh for me. So, we do have a very, very identical build order out of both of these players here. Pardon the cough. They're both going for early assimilators, double assimilator, and a quick gateway. So I'm not sure exactly what we can expect. Maybe fast robos. That was standard PvP plays. Kind of early 2-gate into a robo 3-gate robo total with immortal pressure to counter the opponent's stalkers. But we will have to see what this ends up being. Right now, both players again just keeping exact pacing with one another with regard to what buildings they are building, the amount of workers they have. Everything is virtually the exact same. Notice that Rain is a little smidgen of a second ahead, just a half second. His timings are quicker, but it seems like Classic beat him on the gateway here. I know that Rain was very dominant a couple of years ago in the fall when he first got into SC2. I remember I think he won the OSL, went far in the GSL, and he was just dominating, coming straight off of Brood War. It was very impressive just to see somebody with a rather unspectacular background in his original game just to come over and dominate in SC2. And I notice a little bit of lag here with the workers going to the Nexus. I believe it's because I used to have my hard drive split up. I had a separate partition for my raw recordings off of Fraps, and I actually ended up removing that partition because I didn't need it anymore because I was no longer commentating for the past year approximately. So if you see a slight lag in this video, do forgive that. I'm probably going to do the same partition trick next time around and see if that cures some of the ailments. We have a bit of early pressure here. Or do we? I heard a little bit of a gunshot or something of the sort, a laser being fired. We have some scouting coming out of our both of our players here. Rain taking one Zelnaga Watchtower and Classic taking the other. It seems like we're just having a mirror match in entirety. Both players just copying one another, move for move. We have the Mothership Core out from Classic, which I did notice but did not comment on, just moving out along with the Stalker. Rain with his own Stalker here, and he's pumping out 2 sentries. Interesting decision. And there is a quick Stargate for Classic as opposed to an Expand for Rain. So this is a very, very different... Or sorry, it's a Nexus for Rain and Nexus for Classic. Stargate for Rain. I might have said that right, I might not have said that right. You know what I'm saying. One of them is expanding, one of them is going for the early Stargate, and here is the Robo out of Classic. He is playing economical here. He is taking his time, slowing down, kind of getting ready for the long haul, perhaps, with that extra Nexus. But it seems like Rain is going to be capable of putting on a lot of early pressure. He's got his Warp Gate done. Classic is... just got his now, actually, as I was saying it. Stargate's going to be finished shortly. It will be interesting to see what he builds. Here is the Stalker having scouted the Nexus, as you can see here. He's firing on it, so he knows his opponent's expanded. Probably going through his mind right now is, I should be very aggressive, because I know if my opponent is able to defend and let this expand survive, it's not going to pan out very well for me, because he's going to have that massive economical advantage, and all of a sudden, Rain is just reacting to this perfectly, and he is preparing to destroy the expand. And the least he will force a cancel out of it, and that does not bode well for Classic. He actually has pulled some probes, and it's just going to be destroyed here. Actually gets the cancel right at the end. Very good. And it looks like Rain should be able to take out this Mothership Core and most of the army. I don't know if he has the Stalker advantage right now. Sentry Force Field. Oh, he had a Zealot in there too. That always helps. Classic getting out an Immortal. I don't know if it's going to be quick enough, though. Rain might just take the game right off the bat here. We'll have to see how well Classic is able to defend. Don't forget, guys, Rain does not have an expand, so it's not like he's falling back on a massive macro advantage or something like that. No, not at all. He is just putting on some aggression right now. The supply difference is only 3, so don't... Pardon me for the cough. I've just been sick for quite a while. Don't think that there's a massive advantage for Rain, because there's not. He does have the supply advantage, and of course he did force the cancel. That's a loss of 100 minerals, and some time and effort, and complete build order disarray. I don't know what Classic was thinking in expanding. I'm just going to be able to hold this off with whatever paltry forces I have. He wasn't rushing Immortals or chronoing out Immortals fast enough. He wasn't getting ready to defend that expand. I don't know if he'd done sufficient scouting or anything of the sort. We have to check here. He hadn't really seen everything. He hasn't seen the Stargate. He hasn't seen the number of gateways in his opponent's base, so he was not doing his job scouting his opponent at all. Maybe he expected some degree of aggression. They are teammates, so I don't know how much that speaks to how well they might know each other's tendencies, but I have to say, nice job by Rain there, just moving out and wiping out that natural expand. There's the Oracle there, using its ability to gain vision on all of these buildings and units. Very useful for him right there. I don't even know the name of the ability, because Oracle, again, is brand new to me. It is Envision. Very, is it Revelation or Envision? Okay, I think it's Revelation. Yeah, Revelation. My bad. So, just some very, vivid imagery. Revelation and Vision. And here's, is this another Oracle? I believe he has another, or maybe this is just one. They're very, very fast-moving units. And so the Stargate play is going to vastly assist him in terms of countering Immortals. If he can get a Void Ray out, or just any sort of Stargate pressure, even, I think he can pick it up with Phoenixes, that would assist him greatly. There is the Oracle going down there for Rain. Bad move. I think he was a little bit more focused on his micro here. He gets 2 Immortals right off the bat with great force fields. Will Rain be able to end it right now? I'm not sure. There is a Warp Prism here. I don't think that's going to make a huge difference. He could go drop his opponent, but what are drops going to matter when you have Stalkers, Zealots, and a Sentry in your base? I don't think it really matters anymore that Rain lost that Oracle carelessly. Now there are Zealots attacking for Classic, trying to defend this. Some nice Warp Prism play, kind of simulating what Blink would do had he actually researched it and gotten that Twilight Council. Rain focusing down the Warp Prism, interesting, I guess, just to avoid that kind of pick up and drop play. Classic, I like how he's microing in these defensive situations, but what I don't like is the fact that he's putting himself in these defensive situations. He's not preparing enough of an army. He's thinking that Rain is just going to let him macro up, let him get to a safe area, and what I think Rain is doing right is that he's just simply he's not he's keeping the heat on, and so Rain very much so wants to take out that Warp Prism. It's so low right now. I just need to select it. It's at 5 health. A useful little tool here for Classic, but without a Stargate, he is kind of hopeless in terms of air superiority, in terms of just general control. Phoenixes are a pain in any Robo player's side. Not that Stargates were particularly predominant in Wings of Liberty PvP, but still, Phoenixes are always a helping hand in terms of harass, and here is Classic with another Mothership Core and a mild-sized force moving out of his base. Some Stalkers. I don't know if this is the smartest idea. I guess he kind of has to do it just to see what's out there. Rain does have an expand on the back of this, and he has an Immortal. He's got Robo of his own, so it's not like he has a major technological disparity on the ground, because his Stalkers would just get vastly countered by Classics. Classic, in fact, no longer opting for Immortals. He just probably doesn't have the economy. He really does not. Very, very low gas and mineral turtles. He's probably just going to try to finish it off with this push, or he's going to go for a 3 Zealot 1 Sentry drop. I think he's going to go on the side of the mineral patch, drop a force field, and then kill a lot of probes with his Zealots. Here are the Stalkers trying to take out that very low Warp Prism, and now Classic does not want to get his army in too much trouble here. He's trying to drop. There is the Time Warp, or whatever else it is called, from both players here, and it looks like we are having a bit of an engage. Classic trying to get that Warp Prism in warp mode, and all around losing this fight. The Immortals just making short work of the Stalkers. There's the GG from Classic. He didn't have much of a chance in that battle, and the game goes to Rain. Takes the series 2-1 in this round of 16 matchup. So, just a final little overview of the game. I think it was just Classic putting himself in a very defensive situation and having to deal with it as a result. I mean, obviously you don't choose to be on the back foot, but it was risky making that expand without actually having information on his opponent's build. And Rain, to be honest, didn't even build too much out of the Stargate and use it. He just kind of had it there, just for the sake of having it there. And you know what? If you're spending most of the game in your opponent's natural, near your opponent's base, they don't know what's going on in your base. You could have virtually no buildings, no infrastructure, no economy behind you, but the fact that you're just keeping your army out of your base near his means that you have an advantage, because you have no aggression against you. I like Classic building the War Prism to try to respond, but Rain was expecting that. He had his Stalkers near his base, and even then, Classic was so busy defending his main that he couldn't even send out a War Prism because he would not have the forces to survive. So anyhow, guys, I hope you forgive some of the mistakes, some of the rustiness, some of the coughing of this video. I hope you do keep in mind the fact that it is still my first video back, so you can expect some pretty major improvements in the upcoming videos. Still, hope you enjoyed. Good to be back. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.